Hey, fifth grade. I'm going to be going over worksheet 36 on this video. So I hope this helps you with your work this week and that you guys are understanding all the new concepts like transitive verbs and pattern 1 and pattern 2 sentences. And direct objects. I hope that you guys are these videos are really helping you understand all the new concepts that we've went over thus far. So what I want to take a minute and talk about first is identifying transitive and intransitive verbs for pattern 1 and pattern 2 sentences. So I gave you guys this worksheet. I uploaded this one right here, and it's just kind of some information. So I want to make sure that you go over this and read this so you know the difference. So a verb is intransitive if it shows action and does not have a direct object in the sentence. Verbs in pattern 1 sentences are intransitive because they do not transfer an action to a direct object. So what that means is when we have a pattern 1 sentence and we have like the word talk, but we don't have a direct object come right after it, those are intransitive verbs, okay? Those are the type that we have in pattern 1 sentences. And then it says an example is Anna drew at school. So what did she do? She drew, but it doesn't say what she drew, right? So there's no direct object. So therefore that's an intransitive verb. If we look at transitive verbs, a transitive verb, if it shows action or has a direct object in the sentence, it's a pattern 2 sentence or transitive because they transfer an action from the subject to a direct object. So the sentence they have for an example is Anna drew a picture at school. So for that one, what did she draw? She drew a picture. So there's a direct object, therefore that makes that a transitive verb so transitive kind of means the word transfer in it, okay? So it transfers the action to the direct object, where in the first sentence Anna drew a picture, it didn't transfer anything there. It just said Anna drew. We don't know what she drew, so it was just an intransitive verb. It's just a verb in the sentence, okay? So let's look at these sentences behind me. This is worksheet 36. Number 1 says, the nurse prepared the doctor's instruments for the operation. Who's the sentence about? It's about the nurse, right? So that's our subject noun. What did the nurse do? She prepared, so that's our verb. Let's see if it has a direct object, and then we'll know if it's a verb transitive. So prepared what? Can you answer that? You can. You can answer it with what she prepared. She prepared instruments. So therefore, that makes this a verb transitive. And instruments is our direct object. Now let's look at these two words. The, remember, is always an article adjective. And doctors is describing whose instrument, right? So whose instruments are they? The doctors. So therefore that makes that a P-N-A. It's an adjective, but it's a possessive noun adjective, okay? Because it's showing possession because it has an apostrophe S on it. And then for the operation, if you guys remember, for is a preposition, so that makes this a prepositional phrase. For what? Operation. The is an article adjective, and so is this one, so let's mark that. If we look at the sentence, it's a statement, therefore that makes that as a declarative. And we did have a verb transitive and a direct object, so subject noun, verb transitive, direct object, pattern 2, okay? Let's look at number 2. Before breakfast, the sleepy campers exercised outside their cabins. So we first off know right here, it has something and a comma. So we know it's an inverted sentence. So it's starting with either an adverb or a prepositional phrase. Well, if we look at this, before breakfast is not an adverb. Before is a preposition. So we can go ahead and mark this with a prepositional phrase, okay? And it's who's the sentence about? It's about what? It's about the campers, right? So that's our subject noun. What kind of campers are they? They're sleepy, so that makes that an adjective. And the, of course, article adjective. Now, what did these sleepy campers do? They exercise, so there's our verb. Exercise what? Did it say what they exercised? No, but it did say where they exercise. So can we say exercise where? Outside. So that's our adverb. Outside what? Their cabins. So there is a PPA. but we can say what they exercise outside of. And so that's cabin. So that's going to make that a direct object. So we need to go back and change that. So this one, same thing. Pattern 2 sentence. All right, let's look at number 3. Have you had a slice of Mom's homemade banana bread? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't tell y'all what kind of sentence this was. Let's go back to this one real quick. This sentence is a statement, so it makes it a declarative, okay? Now, if we look at this sentence, it's asking a question. And so anytime a sentence has a question, it always starts out with a helping verb, okay? And what's the sentence about? Who's it about? It's about you, because it says have you. So you is our subject pronoun because you is a pronoun. Have you had? Had is our verb because it's asking you what you're doing, like had. A slice of Mom's homemade bread. Have you had what? It's saying a slice, so that's a direct object. So we turn this to verb transitive. A is an article adjective. Then we have of Mom's homemade banana bread. Of is a preposition. So that means this whole thing is a prepositional phrase. Of what? What's it asking? Did you have a slice of it? It's not asking did you have a slice of Mom or homemade or banana, but it is asking you about the bread. So that's your OP. So all of these words are adjectives. Mom's is going to be a PNA because it's a possessive noun adjective. It's a noun with a apostrophe on it showing possession. Homemade is an adjective because it's describing the bread. And what about banana? Same thing. Adjective because it's describing the bread. Now if you look at the next exercise 2, I put up here where I'm going to write down what we're going to do for that. It says listing nouns and noun jobs in sentence 2. So this is sentence 2. And we have 3 nouns. So our first noun is always your subject noun. So that's campers. Your next one is your OP, your object of the preposition, which is breakfast. And your last one is your direct object, which is cabins. Okay? Now for exercise 3, it wants you to write down the simple subject for sentence 3. The simple subject is the subject of the sentence. So the subject of the sentence is you. So you're going to write down you for your simple subject, and your simple predicate is your verb in the sentence. And in this case, there's 2. So have and had. And what you can do is just write it like this. Have, had. Okay? All right, now let's look at exercise 4. You're going to write the pattern numbered in the blank. So I've written that up there so I can go over this section with you as well. For number 1, it says, on Tuesday, I hiked across Grandpa's land. So let's find our subject, I, and what did I do? Hiked. All right, so from there, we need to find out hiked. Can you say hiked what or whom? You can't. Because across Grandpa's land is a prepositional phrase. So number 1 is a pattern 1 sentence. Okay? Number 2 says, can you see the top of the barn from the hill? So the verb is see. All right? And it said, can you see what? What's it asking? Can you see the top? Right? So I can answer that question. Therefore, that makes a pattern 2 sentence. Okay? Number 3, are you going to the movies with my family? So if we find our verb, which is going, what does, you can't answer that because to the movies is a prepositional phrase because to is a preposition and with my family is a prepositional phrase. So therefore that is a pattern 1 sentence because there's no direct object in that sentence. And then number 4, I have a bag of chocolate covered sunflower seeds. So I have, what do you have? You have a bag, right? So therefore I can answer that question. So that makes bag the direct object. So that makes that a pattern 2 sentence. So number 4 is a pattern 2 sentence. Okay. On the back, I feel like that one's pretty easy. So I'm going to let y'all do that on your own. on the back, which is the last page that you have to do for this week. I hope this video helps you guys understand what we're working on right now. So I hope y'all have a good day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.